Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be talking about a system that could be a big one for parts of the northeastern US. Could this potentially become a nor'easter, a bomb cyclone, or maybe not much of anything? And that could be happening later this week as well. We'll be talking about that system as well for later this week. Before we get started, if you guys would like regular related content, you can always subscribe to my channel. We do this stuff here all the time, and we'll also likely have more updates on this potential system as well. So we're going to get started with the GFS model. What we got going on? We got a Alberta Clipper system moving through the Great Lakes currently, and that's going to bring another swath of maybe a couple inches of snow for some folks. There's another system a little further to the south here. There's had potential to become a decent snowmaker for areas a little further south, but it doesn't seem to be the case anymore out of this, as those two pieces of energy are going to be too far apart to create not much of anything down here. So that kind of decreases your chances for rain and snow. There might still be some there, but not expecting much of anything. Okay, so this is where things get interesting. So Thursday, really, you got going to have two pieces of energy. One's going to be right here. One's going to be somewhere up here. It's going to be hard to see. We'll look into the vorticity in just a little bit, but if the GFS small is correct, here's your southern piece of energy. At this point, it's kind of merging in with a northern piece of energy up here. And what's going to happen here is that these two could phase together, and you'll see a really crazy output. And you're going to see a lot of that in this video. Um, you can see here you got a lot of cold air in place, a big trough off to the west. It's not very impressive right now. That's 1,007 millibar low. You already got quite a bit of snow on the backside of the system here. It's mainly light from northern Alabama all the way up to Maine. And watch what happens here. So here we are at 6Z on Saturday. You got another 95 millibar low. We're gonna go this by every 6 hours. 12Z, 985 millibars. 18Z, 978, and eventually to 0Z, 975 millibars. And this is going by every 6 hours, by the way. And then things calm down by Saturday evening. Now, one model, one solution, right? Well, let's check out what the other models are thinking. Let's check out the European model with this. So pretty much the same thing really for the next couple of days here. It's really hard to tell if your two pieces of energy, but it'll be a similar situation to what the GFS is suggesting. Two pieces of energy phase together. Here we are at 6Z on Saturday. You got 994 millibar low. 6 hours later, 972. And then another 6 hours later, 958 millibar low. Now, that's on the crazy side of things. I mean, in 6 hours, you go from 972 to 958. I mean, that's a major drop with the pressure. And here's another 6 hours. It starts to calm down. Still dropping millibars, though, 954. And eventually it starts to calm down at that point as well. But, I mean, check out how big the snow shield is. And there could be a lot of heavy snow mixed in with that as well. What's the Canadian model suggesting? Well, I will say this. Pretty much a very similar thing. So 6Z Saturday, 996. It's off the East Coast. It's actually a little bit further west than some of the other models. That's 985 millibars, 977, and then 976. So basically, there is the potential is there. We could see a big system out of this here. And the timing on this could begin as early as Friday, and it could go throughout the night on Friday night into Saturday. And it still could continue into the early morning hours on Sunday, mainly in the parts of Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Now, there's a lot of stuff that's going to be going on here, more than you think. Let's check out the energy. This is probably the most important thing when it comes to the system. Right now, our piece of energy is in Alaska, and there's a lot of obstacles the system's got to go through. It's going to be hard to see where your piece of energy is going to be. But this is 12Z on Wednesday or 7 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday in Eastern Time. Our piece of energy is kind of in this mess here. There's another piece of energy to the northeast. Even if that changes around a little bit, can affect this. You also got another piece of energy in the four corner states. If it slows down, it can slow down this as well. So you already have two potential factors on this, and it's not even the United States yet. And you'll see that kind of continue a little further south here. There's another piece of energy that kind of comes off of from California. It'll be kind of merging with that. You will notice another piece of energy will try to develop a little further to the north as well in the parts of southern Canada. So you got those two pieces of energy that kind of merge together. And here's your other piece of energy from the northern stream. And really at this point here, if the phasing were to be correct, you could see a big system out of this. Now, really the main point of looking at this here is that there's so many factors into this. And this is going to likely change. It really will because of how many factors there are with this. I mean, it's got so many obstacles it's got to go through. I mean, any little change from, this piece of energy or this one up here can change of how the system will amplify. And it could be in a good way or in a bad way for some people, depending on what type of person you are. So then again, there's a lot of possibilities with this. Even though there's a strong agreement 5 days out, there's still going to be some changes. And we also don't have weather balloon data with this as well. So that's another thing as well. Now, I will say it is impressive to have an agreement this far out, but there's still a lot of possibilities in reality. I do expect whenever we get some weather balloon data in over the next couple days, we're probably going to see some more shifts with the guidance. Now, I will say that I've been noticing that things have been trending a little bit further west. And I'll also note that probably one of the more accurate models compared with the last systems, uh, or let me just rephrase that. Really, so far this year, what's been the best model? It will probably be the Canadian model. It has been doing a good job over the last couple systems, especially in the short range, and it's typically a model that's a little bit stronger with energy. And the highest Canadian is the same way, and which we're not arranged for the highest Canadian just yet with this. It'll probably be until Wednesday whenever we can see the highest Canadian. I mean, it nailed the last system in the Carolinas, which that's pretty darn good, and it has nailed systems in the past as well so far this year. So, and even the K model as well has also been pretty good as well. GFS has been pretty decent as well. It has its ups and downs with it, but it was also the first model to mention this as well. That's another thing to know. Really, the model that have been having a lot of trouble recently has been the European model. Even though it's been people say it's the most accurate model, really in reality, none of the models are not very accurate. But if there's a model that I may follow along with for right now, it might be the Canadian model. But there's a good chance I may change my mind with that since we're still far away from this event. That's just something to keep a note with. I mean, there's so many factors with this system that it can really change the forecast. Like, for example, here, like I said, mentioning earlier, if one of these piece of energy, maybe the four corners piece of energy, for example, were to slow down, it can slow down the system. And if that occurs, if you got a slower system, the track can be further west. But if it's more progressive, it could go further to the east. And at that point, you may not see much wave impacts for the parts of the northeastern U.S. So then again, there's a lot of factors uh, with this as well that can change the forecast. That's why we're saying that the potential is there. It's not 100% guaranteed at this point. We're not 100% set in stone with this just yet. However, it has been a signal. I will say that. But what is a model that can be pretty useful for stuff like this as far out? would be the Ensemble guidance. And I can only show you the GFS ensembles in this range. The European ensembles have been having a little bit of trouble recently, as well with some of the previous systems, and GFS ensembles have been doing a better job than the European ensembles so far this year. So, checking out GFS ensembles. Now, I want to let you guys look as a probability map. So maybe it's saying maybe an inch of snow. That can mean a 10% chance of seeing, let's just say, maybe at least 1 inch of snow. How about that? So maybe in Central Kentucky, for example, you got a 15% chance of seeing at least an inch of snow, and it kind of goes beyond until you get to 10 inches. If it's at least 10 inches, you can just say it's a 100% chance. So maybe for Central Delaware, for example, for a probability for at least an inch of snow, it could be an 84% chance. Or you can go into Central Massachusetts, it could be a 97% chance. That's a high chance. You also notice here, these numbers are actually pretty high for this far out, so that's a pretty good agreement on it as well. However, let's go about individual runs here. Now, don't pay too much attention with the amounts here again. Don't pay much attention. It doesn't necessarily tell you how much snow you're going to get because these are going to change by each run. You'll notice here, you got some model guidance that show a lot of snow. Like I see a couple of them that's got at least 2 feet of snow. But you also got other models that don't show much of anything. So that's where we're kind of down to at this point here in this far range. There's a potential this could dump a lot of snow, but if forecast changes a little bit of how the piece of energy can progress, you may not see much of anything. So then again, there's still many possibilities with this, and we're not 100% set in stone with this just yet. We'll probably have a better idea on this maybe, I would say, maybe Thursday or so with this. But then again, still a lot of uncertainty with this system. Now, my one other big concern with this system here, this system could bring is a lot of wind. And this is the GFS model here, and this forecast will likely change as well. But just to kind of give you an idea of how rough this system could really be, so this is 1 o'clock here. This is over at Long Island. You got wind gusts close to 50 miles per hour. We're in Boston. Wind gusts could be over 40 miles per hour. Or if you move until 7 o'clock, it could be very windy over in eastern Pennsylvania. Or where you got most of the snow going on, you could see wind gusts over 40 miles per hour. Or we could check out the European mode, which is the strongest out of the rest. Look up in Severn, Maine. Wind gust. Likely going to be overdone, but 80 mile per hour wind gust. So, yeah, that's another concern that this system can produce a lot of wind, especially if it trends stronger. Which, what we've seen here from the European model, it had it under 960 millibars, which is a very strong low as well with this. So that's another big concern with this system could bring is a lot of winds. So then again, there's a lot of possibilities with this system. We don't know a whole lot about it just yet, but it has been a signal over the last couple of days as well. But you know what? The potential is there. And we'll have more updates on this system over the next couple of days. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Guys, like this video, hit the like button. If you do like my channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notifications to never miss an upload. If you guys have questions about this, put the comment section down below. Aren't you guys questions? And I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye and have a good day.